My next guest takes on Ian McCall in his UFC debut coming up here at UFC 208 on February 11th. Jared Brooks joins me here on the program for the very first time. Jared, what's going on? How are you?
What's up, motherfuckers? How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. That's the first time I've heard anyone say "What's up, motherfuckers" on this program. I appreciate it, man. I like it.
Yeah, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Not everyone asks how I'm doing, so I like this interview already. And right off the bat, man, I was listening to your interview last night on the SFLC podcast with Mike Heck, good buddy of mine. And one of the little tidbits I knew you dropped on there was that you were actually an alternate on last season's Ultimate Fighter. Take me through that as far as, being an alternate. Like, were you flown down there? Like, how did that sort of all come together?
Yeah, I got flown down there. There was a couple situations down there that kind of like, didn't really help my situation. So they gave me a camera to kind of like see how my home life was, and kind of lost it in the hotel room, kind of fucked it up there. But besides that, the fighting wise, there was nobody touching me there.
Yeah, well, I find it interesting that, like even without the footage or whatever, like just talking to you, how could they not bring you on the show? You'd think they'd want a little bit of personality on there because I watched the season, kind of lacking some personalities.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. I was like, dude, none of these guys are fucking with me personality wise or fighting in the cage.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, Tim Elliott, he's also a veteran in the
yeah.
sport. So you weren't really bringing in new guys. You were bringing in these old heads coming in and just destroying the new competition. So why not have someone like me come in and destroy Tim Elliott, destroy all these other guys like Damasio Page or anybody that went against Demetrius Johnson in the first place and got destroyed.
So when this all kind of went down, as far as you being an alternate and everything like that, did you sort of know at that point, okay, if even if I don't get on here, there's a pretty good chance I'll be in the UFC relatively soon? Was that sort of the feeling you had at the time?
I felt like I was never gonna get in the fucking UFC. I was
Okay,
like,
so
why is Sean Shelby or Joe must have something against me? Thank God Mick Maynard got in there because Mick Maynard, he must have seen something in me that Chaz and Monty also seen in me. My managers, thank God for them too. So
well, knowing your personality, I could see you kind of ruffling some feathers. But did you make any friends when you're on the show as an alternate? Because did you get to see any of the other cast members?
all right, I'm pretty good friends with Jamie Alvarez and Matt Schnell, but at the same time, we kind of got into it over there because Damasio Page was like, "Hey, you train with these guys? How'd you do?" I was like, "Dude, I was fucking flossing them." You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't there to make friends. All of them were in that little room, talking shit about me, and then as soon as I get in there, it's crickets. So they knew who Daddy was at that point.
Yeah, well, it worked out, man. You're in the UFC now. You got this huge fight against Ian McCall. I got to know, how long was this in the works as far as getting the shot? Like when Neil Seary was out, did you sort of have that feeling like, hey, I'm going to get the call?
Dude, I had no idea that Neil Seary was out. I was still questioning it when they told me Ian McCall was on the list. I was like really? But I wasn't surprised though because both of them are notorious for backing out of fights. So I wasn't really surprised, and I was so ecstatic when I found out it was Ian McCall. I was like, hell yeah, give me somebody in the top 10, top 5, somebody that's fought for the belt, and I'll show people who I am right away.
Yeah, and I know you're a guy who's not satisfied. You got the UFC contract. That's great. For some fighters, they're just happy to get in there. You want to be a world champion. But I do imagine there was some excitement when you put the pen to paper. You found out that you'd been signed. Where were you when you found out this is official? I'm going to be fighting in the UFC.
I was at my coach's. He owns a massage place. Everybody thinks that it's some sucky massage place, but it ain't. I was over there getting all the shit signed, and so when I officially signed, I had a smile on my face, but I was discreet, and I was like, you know what, I'm here. Now let's go. The prophecy's there. All it took was just me getting in, and now I'm fucking ready to get that title.
Who was the first person you told when you found out the news, aside from your coach, of course?
Um, Probably. Let me see. One of my old friends down in South Carolina, Dr. Ari Kramer. He's some of the fight doctors. I don't know if you heard of them,
I
but
haven't, but no, yeah, enlighten me here. Yeah, let me know.
they sponsor every from Justin Scoggins, Luis Galvano, Stephen Thompson. I mean, they have protein. They have all sorts of supplements, and these guys are all neurologists. They're smart as fuck. Like anybody that wants to get their weight program down, you go to these guys, Dr. Ari Kramer and Chris Chittum. They're some of the best guys to go for in the world when it comes down to that stuff. So I don't have to worry about it because I don't cut weight. I like to do it all natural. I still eat some shit. I'm still small too. So when I'm going to be way stronger than Ian at even 129 pounds right now.
One more thing on the UFC contract. Did you get any? Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of positive feedback. Once people had found out you've been signed to the UFC. I know this is still kind of fresh, but what was sort of the best message, best phone call, best email you got from someone that said, "Hey, congratulations, you're in the UFC"?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
That's what I do here, man. I got to keep you on your toes.
I'd probably say my brother, actually, because my brother and I always had the conversation. If I was a world champion, he was gonna come out of a fighting retirement to fight me to try to get the world title. Because me and him have always been competitive against each other, and he says that I never take him down, but that motherfucker knows deep down in his heart that I've taken him down before.
Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about your backstory here. Born in Warsaw, Indiana, your first amateur fight, 13 years old. And I know you're a guy who used to bleach his hair like Tito Ortiz. Was Tito sort of your go-to guy, like the guy that really sort of influenced you in martial arts?
I mean, who didn't he influence? I mean, Tito Ortiz digging graves, that was the shit. I was sitting there after wrestling matches. I was acting like him. I was digging graves. I mean, my first wrestling match, I was like, dude, I'm fucking Tito Ortiz. Like, there's no way I'm not Tito Ortiz in this situation. But yeah, I mean, my dad, he influenced me too to just kind of watch the sport. Him and Tito Ortiz and Kevin Randleman were definitely top of the list when it came down to watching fights.
Have you ever had the opportunity to meet Tito?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it because it was kind of a fucked up situation, but yeah, it was kind of crazy meeting your idol that kind of way, but
okay, fair enough. We'll just leave it at that. One of the other cool things I saw about you is that, and you referenced him in this interview, is Justin Scoggins. You guys grew up together. You've been best friends. How cool is it now to be part of the UFC? And he's obviously been in the UFC for a bit, but to see you both, achieve this dream and be in the UFC.
Justin is my best friend, and he just got married. Congratulations, Justin. You're the shit. To Hannah Rockala, his girlfriend,
who's another fighter. Yeah, I've seen her fight. She's fantastic.
Dude, she is going to be the 115-pound world champion. Like, that girl is only 19 years old, and she is breaking heads. And she's embodied Justin's style too. Like, she's killed it in the amateur circuit, and she's gonna kill it as a pro also. But yeah, Justin, he's definitely my best friend. We didn't grow up together. We met each other at American Top Team, and
gotcha.
We pretty much just hit it off. He was like, yeah, I have a younger brother named Jared. I was like, that's weird. I have an older brother named Justin. And he's like, what's your birthday? May 2nd. He's like, mine too. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And there's just other similarities too that we just have in common, and that's what made us come closer together. And he needed wrestling, and I needed striking, so we both corresponded that way.
Excellent. Now let's talk about your last fight. You got a big win over Jun Nakamura at Pancrase 281. I know you said on Mike's show you didn't like competing in Japan. It wasn't exactly a great experience. And you competed there twice, actually, I should mention. But do you feel like having competed overseas, competed in a big organization like that is going to pay dividends in your UFC debut? Because some guys, they get UFC jitters. It's a big leap up from the regional scene to the UFC.
Yeah, I'm not going to get UFC jitters.
I was going to say, yeah.
My mind's too strong for that kind of shit. Ian, I don't know if he's fought overseas or anything like that. I know he's fought at like Tachi Palace before he went to the UFC and stuff like that. And I gotta give my hats off to Ian. That dude is a beast. He's paved the way for the flyweight division, and I can't say that he's not gonna be a tough fight, because he's a tough fight for anybody. But when it comes down to getting in people's heads, I'm a fucking master at that, and Ian ain't coming close. Now Japan, I fought both of those fights at 115, and I didn't feel really comfortable fighting at that weight. I feel so much stronger, and I feel so much faster at 125 compared to that weight class. I mean, I'm ranked number 1 in the world at 115, but who the fuck cares about 115? I don't even care about 115. So at 125, we're here and making dividends, and I'm here to take that that fifth spot and then go up, and then fight Demetrius if he doesn't get beat.
Yeah, and you mentioned McCall, your opponent. You guys have kind of gone back and forth a little bit on Twitter, which, by the way, I love. I think that's how you sell a fight, is if you kind of, do some back and forth on social media. But were you surprised that he took this fight, just with the fact he's had such a long layoff, and he's fighting a guy in yourself who's hungry, undefeated, young? I mean, there's not a lot of upside for him if he wins this fight.
Yeah, there isn't, and I think he's really, really close to retirement, and I think he doesn't want to do this sport anymore. That's why he's doing podcasts. That's why he's trying to make some other money doing cryogenics and shit like that. This is all I do. This is all I've been doing. I've never had a 9 to 5. I've never done anything like that in my life. I've never done any work. I'm pretty much worthless when it comes to work, except for fighting. You know what I'm saying? So, there's nobody in the world that wants this more than me, that wants this fight. I've wanted this fight since 2013, like right after my amateur career. So, Ian, you better watch out, man, because you got a hungry wolf, and you're looking like a sheep right now.
You mentioned also that you've trained with John Lineker in the past, and of course, he was the last guy to defeat Ian McCall. How much do you think that's going to help you in this matchup?
Man, the only time I trained with John was at American Top Team for the Ian McCall fight. They actually wanted me to fly down to Brazil to help him with the last 2 weeks of the fight. And I was like, dude, I don't really have that much time, you know what I'm saying? Like anything like that. But I mean, John Lineker was taking down Ian McCall, and John can't take me down. I was taking John down. So at the end of the day, I mean, John hits like a fucking truck. Don't get me wrong with that. John is an amazing mixed martial artist, and he goes for broke every time. But Ian, he's gonna realize that I'm not some little punk coming into the UFC, dude. I'm going in to knock your fucking head off and knock that little ponytail at the top of your head too. So I mean, no disrespect to him either, but when it comes down to the fight game, I'm very serious about this, and he's not at my caliber, at least right now. I mean, I don't think he was at my caliber anyway in his career. The flyweight division is a very young and up and coming division still. So he was fighting those guys that were just coming up, and they were new. So now you're seeing the midsection of the flyweight division, like when Anderson Silva came in the middleweight division, how Conor McGregor's coming in the 45 and 55 pound division. But I'm telling you what, this is my prediction right now. Me, at 25, I'm going to win that title. Justin Scoggins at 35 is going to win the title. 45, this guy right here. Where's Devin? God damn it.
You almost had it there. You almost had the perfect transition.
Hey, but this is my coach, James Lee.
Hey,
James
nice to meet you, James.
Say what's up.
James, great name, man. James Lynch. Nice to meet you.
I live with James Lee. This is Devin Jackson.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, Devin. I hear you're going to be the future champ.
Oh, yeah, man. Jared's my best friend. I've known him since I was like 7 years old, man. We walked into a wrestling tournament and immediately started doing jiu-jitsu, man. We were like, hey, man, you do jiu-jitsu? And we were like, yeah. And we started trying to tap each other out and sub each other, man. We've known each other for a long time, and I know he's going to be the UFC champion. I'm going to be right behind him.
Well, he called his shot on here, and this is video. This doesn't go away, so we got to revisit this in a couple of years, and then we're gonna, then you got to start picking some lottery ticket numbers. We'll go all win some money.
That's what I'm saying. Shit.
Sounds good, man.
And you're the first person here, James.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I heard it first. I heard it here first, so I appreciate it. But aside from these fine gentlemen that are surrounding you here, who are some of the other people that are helping you get ready for this fight?
I have Kara Rowe. She's one of the best boxing coaches in the world. I mean, technically, she was an IBF world champion, world women champion in boxing, and don't let her looks deceive you. She will rip your fucking head off. And that girl is one of the best boxing coaches that anybody that's worked with her is just like, damn, this girl is the real deal. You won't see it till you feel it. Just like me, though.
Yes, I'm glad you brought her up because I'm actually quite familiar with her because I'm actually up here in Toronto, Canada. That's where I live, and Randa Marcos is like a huge deal. I know she's not. I don't think she's working with Kara anymore, but I know a lot about her because they were working together for a couple fights. So yeah, very familiar with her. That's a nice weapon to have in your arsenal.
Oh yeah, man. Randa, she's actually working with my coach now, James Lee.
Oh, excellent.
Um,
Okay.
and I'm telling you, in the next 2 to 3 years, you're gonna hear James Lee's Match Fight Team everywhere. Like we we have some fucking killers coming to our team. Like, and especially when I build a name, I feel like I mean he's coached people like Miles Jury and Darren Cruikshank, and they kind of left him as soon as they felt that little star status. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big believer in sticking with the people that believe in you. And James and I, we have a big connection. And when I reach stardom, he's coming with me.
Excellent. I love to hear that. Always like the loyalty in the sport. It doesn't seem to happen too often. We got an Ultimate Fighter coming up that's about that exact thing. TJ Dillashaw leaves Alpha Male and everything, so it's interesting. But
A little sneaky weasel, yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's a good McGregor impression.
Weasel. Yeah, I can do a really good kind of McGregor impression. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You have to do the
Fuck
laugh
that.
though. You go.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah, you got to do that too. How's the weight cut going? I mean, this is at 125. You say you're feeling a lot better. You have to be pretty strict on your diet or anything like that.
No, I'm perfect. I don't need to do shit. Like I said, I'm a monk. I got my shit down. Everything that involves a weight cut has to do with your core, and I'm a small guy anyway, so I don't really have to cut weight. But when you feel me, you're gonna feel like a motherfucker is 190 on top of you.
Excellent. I see you want to fight Horiguchi after this. You've already kind of picked your next fight. Is that right?
Yeah, Kyoji Horiguchi. He left right as soon as I left for American Top Team, and he just seems like a really, really good fight for me. He has really good stand up and karate and stuff like that, and I'm used to that from fighting with Justin. Justin's way better at karate than Horiguchi. Horiguchi's explosive and good. Don't get me wrong, but the dude's ground game is shit. I will take him down, and I will sub him in the first round.
See, here I was thinking you wanted to fight him because you had such a bad time in Japan. You wanted to get back at Japan.
Yeah. Uh, well, yeah, I did have a bad time, especially there's yeah, I'm not gonna even talk about it.
I was gonna say we'll save that for another time, another podcast. To talk about the wonders of traveling. But I kind of heard your prediction there, but let's get it here again. Coming up here, UFC 208, February 11th. What's your prediction? How do you see this fight ending?
Well, to everybody listening, I'm gonna finish him in the first round. I'm telling you what, I'm gonna finish him in the first round, and it's either gonna be with a stiff left hook 2, or he's gonna take a bad shot, which he usually does in a fight, Ian. And I'm gonna get you up against the cage, and I'm gonna hit you with a rear naked choke.
Love it. A couple more questions for you here. The Spider Monkey, that's your nickname. How'd you get that? What's the story behind that?
And that's my manager's nickname for me. My nickname is the Monkey God.
Okay, the Monkey God. Then
And
we'll stick with that. What's the story behind the Monkey God?
well, I'm really deep into like religious shit and stuff like that. I feel like that like taps into my manifestation and stuff. But the Monkey God is a real god in what is it, Hinduism, right? And his name was Hanuman, and he's one of the biggest gods next to Krishna. And I just seen a lot of, like, everybody's been calling me a monkey my whole life, got that shit popping off. But I started working at Indianapolis American Top Team, and these little kids, I started getting their attention and stuff like that, and they wanted to learn wrestling and a little MMA from me and stuff like that. So I started calling them my little monkeys. You know what I'm saying? So I already had the nickname the Spider Monkey at the time. So I was just like, you know what? I'm the god of the monkeys. I'm the god of these children. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of look like a kid. So people call me the Monkey God now.
Excellent. I love it. Last question for you here. You guy who watches Netflix? A lot of fighters I talk to do. So are you a Netflix guy at all?
I'm a Netflix guy. I usually watch a lot of like downloaded uh movies and stuff like that. But if I watch Netflix, it's usually a lot of like Dexter or Breaking Bad. Anything that has some savagery to it.
Nice. Okay, savagery. I'll keep that in mind. For any recommendations for any of those. So like Sons of Anarchy as well too. Do you like that stuff?
I've never watched Sons of
Oh,
Anarchy.
dude.
Is it good?
Oh, I wouldn't be hyping it up. I wouldn't even mention it on this interview if it wasn't that. It's so damn good, man. You got to check it out. You'd like it because you like savagery. It's damn good show.
All right.
So
Well,
I'll tell you what you're gonna do after this interview. You're gonna write it down, and you're gonna be like, next time I'm on Netflix, I'm gonna go down that little list under whatever category, and you're gonna watch
I
it.
remember I was getting this tattoo right here, and Sons of Anarchy was playing in the background, but I was like, these guys look like a bunch of bikers and shit like that. And so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this, but hey, if James recommends it, I'll watch it.
Awesome, man. I gotta let you go here. I really appreciate the time, man. I
Yeah.
can't thank you enough for joining me here on the program. Where can people get a hold of you on social media? And if you got any thank you, shout outs, anything like that, sponsors, I need you to get paid here. So go for it, man. The floor is yours.
On Instagram and Twitter, the Monkey God, the underscore Monkey God, my bad, and Facebook, it's just Jared Brooks. You can look it up with 2 R's. They call me R2, and I gotta really do a shout out to my dad and my brother. They've big influences on me. Dennis Minix, my first MMA coach. James Lee, Kara Rowe, Mike Williams, huge sponsor for me all the time, and just everybody that's followed me throughout my MMA career. I appreciate it, guys, and I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna go out and beat this motherfucker's mustache straight up his face.